Yeah, this is an interesting one. I think it's a vehicle that's been marketed wrong. And there's a reason maybe it's not selling or selling for far less than the original asking prices. Regardless, I'm excited to take a look at it and learn more about it and understand what is going on with this, the 2024 or 25, who cares anymore, Dodge Charger Daytona EV. All right, first things first, let's dive into the looks. I think this thing looks pretty damn good. They got some lines from various eras of Charger and Challenger design and incorporated them nicely. That rear end looks great with the tail light. The front lighting element treatment looks really good. That little R-wing in the nose is kind of cool. The wheels look fine. The brakes are nice and big, beefy, chunky boy tires. 325s out back, 305s up front. And it needs it, but we'll get to that in a second. But yeah, this red paint looks good. This glass roof is nice. I like that it's a hatchback, so you can store a bunch of stuff back there. It's useful utility in a big electric muscle car. I do like the styling, and Dodge always does a good job on the colors too. This red paint looks nice. Inside, very comfortable. I don't need a squircle or the squared off steering wheel. I don't really care for that, but it's fine. But the seats are nicely designed. I just feel like I'm sitting on them and not in them, and I always hate that. I feel like I'm looking slightly downward when I want to be looking straight out. So I can't quite get the seat exactly adjusted, exactly how I'd like it, and I don't know, I mean, that definitely could be a me problem, but I don't know. I was expecting to sit in the car, not on the car. The quality, the material is very nice. The bolstering would be nice if I was back in it. And then the screen here with the latest version of Uconnect is very responsive, works very well, is angled towards the driver slightly, works great. However, this HVAC bar below it, which I do appreciate always having those buttons readily available, that feels oddly cheap compared to everything else, especially when there's like a strip of suede that looks nice underneath it, and then there's carbon fiber to bring the weight down. The ambient lighting is kind of fun. If you're into that, you can change it to all different colors. Thankfully, you can tone down the brightness because in full brightness, it is a lot to deal with. But again, this glass roof is nice. And then the back seat, plenty of room, which makes sense because they're going to offer a 4-door version of this. But as a 2-door, shuttling my kid to and from school, there's great room back there for them, which is good to see. Stark contrast to the GR86 I had recently. You can put people back there and they will not complain. There is surprisingly good, well, maybe not surprisingly, because like I said, there will be a 4-door version of this coming as well. So on to what is going on here. Electric Charger. And they're billing this as, the EV muscle car. And I get that. I get why they would do that. They want to play to that market. That's who they are historically. That's who they always have been. And I don't normally do this. I don't normally read other reviews before I do my review, but someone said I should read Alana Scher's review over on Car and Driver, and a great writer, and I value her opinions on these things. And I read it, and I agree with her. And I appreciate her opinion on these things because she knows muscle cars and old Dodges and new Dodges, and she's driven them all from the old and the new, so she's seen it all. And she's not an EV hater. She's not a gas hater, gas only, blah, blah, blah. Her opinion holds value. So she says this shouldn't be a muscle car, it should be a Grand Tourer, and I sent her a message because I 1000% agree. This feels much more like a Grand Tourer from the way it wants to bend through sweepers and not just... I haven't driven it on a track, so I can't speak to the full aggressiveness of this, but I know when you start to push a little bit past what from Grand Tourer into sports car, or not sports car, but like maybe muscle car-y, where you want to do burnouts and big slides and big dumb stuff. The weight, it starts to fall apart with the weight because this weighs nearly 6,000 pounds. The steering feel is fine. You can dial it in. I don't like the lightest setting. The middle setting seems to be the best setting. But now I put it into track, and I actually like it a bit more. But in like just the type of road you would do if you were just out on a road trip, nice sweepers, curves, not like really technical, tight, like Angeles Cresty type stuff, but more PCH, up the coast type things, this car shines. Get it into like racetrack situations, I have to imagine that the weight just becomes even more shockingly apparent. You know, you can only do so much to hide that mass. And a muscle car is a good platform to try to do that, but you can't just like light up the rear tires, which is a point Alana made, which she says there's something about like the constant availability, she didn't say it like this, but the constant availability of potential stupidity with a muscle car as part of what makes a muscle car so appealing. And I agree. Here, you have to dive to menus, you have to put it into drift mode, you have to put it into donut mode. You can't do a burnout in this, which is fucking insane, related to Dodge's marketing, because there's, you know, so much power potentially on tap. This is the more powerful one for now until they come out with the SRT version. So dual motor, all-wheel drive. With power shot enabled, because this is stage 2, you have 670 horsepower. I think normally without power shot, you have like 596. So good power, but power to weight. So like to punch it and it goes. 0 to 60 is like just over 3, or it's low 3s or something like that. So it's plenty quick. And over 16-inch front brakes, so you can slow down too. And the brakes do feel good in spite of the weight. The suspension is comfortable enough, but every now and then there's some odd movements that are probably coupled with the suspension going, God, what are we doing here? So it suffers from what a lot of EVs suffer from performance EVs. The engineers have to work so hard to give you that performance, otherwise it'll become a wallowy, unstoppable boat anchor, flying out of control mess of a machine. Some automakers do that really well, like Porsche does an amazing job with their EVs. Kia's EV6 GT is an absolute blast. The Ioniq 5N, you could still feel the weight when I drove that one at Laguna Seca. I have to imagine this very much would remind me of that i5N in terms of dealing with the mass in a spirited situation. I should go park it next to that fucking land yacht over there. But it's big. It's bigger than the old Charger. It is, if you can sit in the seat, it would be extremely comfortable. Like I said, the quality is good. I hate sitting on top of seats and not in seats, if that makes sense to you. But just cruising it around town, driving it, it's catching a lot of eyes. People are looking at it. I think like I said, it looks good. It's fun enough to drive around town. And then I think with these steep discounts you're seeing from some dealers, because the potential fan base for this car isn't showing up for it, because again, Dodge's marketing might have missed the mark on this one. I think if you can pick one of these up for a good deal, grab one if you can charge it home, because here's the other rub. This is a 400 volt architecture car, and I don't think we should even be offering those.
Watch out,
anymore.
Vehicle on shoulder ahead.
Thank you, Waze. I don't even think we should really be offering those anymore for a new EV coming to market. It's crazy. You can't charge as quickly. It's just not as efficient as a platform as the current EV market can have and deserves. 800 volts or up, some are higher than that, because you want it to charge quickly. You want it to be able, if you're gonna live with an EV, you gotta get back on the road. But charging at home, so like I have a charger at home, so I'm fine, because you're also dealing with reduced range. I think EPA says 216 on a full charge for this thing, which anything down in the 2s for the average person looking at an EV, especially if it's their first EV, that's not a great number. If you take this on a road trip, you're gonna be stopping to charge it quite a bit, especially if you're getting into the throttle. My miles per kilowatt hour, I'm right around 2.8 to 3 in this. I don't even know what the battery size is, which is terrible. I'm gonna look it up and put it on the screen. So I could have done the math there, but obviously I can't. But I do like when you turn it off, it tells you if you were plugged in on this, or this, how long it would take to charge. I like that little feature when you shut the car off. So like as an EV, it's like okay if you're used to EVs, and maybe not as great if this would be your first EV. just because you could still have range anxiety, whereas I don't, because I know I'm charging at home and I'm just used to knowing how to deal with the EVs. Once you get into EVs and you've driven them for a bit, a lot of that stuff melts away and you realize you're using far less range than you thought you would. So another thing I dislike, which plays toward this is the muscle car of EVs whole thing, the noise, the Fratsonic exhaust. It's a speaker. When I first started the car up and it was on, it's embarrassing. That brah! And I know there are people who like it. I actually don't like the noise in the i5N either, to be totally honest. I think it's goofy, I think it's gimmicky, and then here in the Charger, it's more so. Because it's so loud. It's hilariously loud, and it gets louder in the different driving modes. Thankfully, you just turn it off. From startup to all the driving modes, you can be in those driving modes and not have it on, thank goodness, because it's not for me. But it is for some buyers. It'll rev when you play with the throttle in those modes. It's silly, it's fun, I will admit it's fun. It is also deeply embarrassing to have it bark to life like that. I first fired it up, my neighbors' heads turned, they're like, what the hell was that? It's pixelated engine noise, you know, again, it's not for me. If it's for you, that's fine. You know, reevaluate your choice. No, I'm just kidding, have fun, enjoy your car. So I'm not gonna dump on you if you like the fun noises this car makes for you. It's not for me, and I appreciate being to turn it off. And I've heard like hilarious memes, like what happens when you have to explain, like, oh, I can't play my exhaust right now because I blew my speakers. Like dumb things to think about for the future, or second and third owners of these things, if they make it that far. There's some goofy things. It still has a pistol grip. And then the hate this car gets, I also don't understand, because you're not just gonna have to choose an EV only version. There is a gas version coming. You know they're gonna be bringing V8s at some point to these as well. And the Hurricane Inline 6 is a fun engine, as you know. So to sum up, I think the car is marketed poorly. I think it is a good looking machine. I think it's enjoyable to drive. I wish it had more range. I wish it was on an 800 volt system so it could charge more quickly. And then this one, because I haven't said it, the price on this one as tested is $85. I think these start around $74. The Stage 1 car, which is in the 400 horsepower range, I believe, those, I'll put their price up. And I've seen them discounted in the 30s for the Stage 1 car. Stage 1 and Stage 2 become an option for the 25 model year. I think they were given to you for the first model year. They should just ditch the Stage 1, Stage 2 and just give those cars that amount. But whatever, you know, you gotta find ways to make money these days. But overall, yes, I'm enjoying the car. I think it's marketed wrong. It's fun to drive. But if you try to drive it too aggressively, it becomes not fun to drive. There's an SRT version, I believe, called the Banshee, coming with insane horsepower that they promise will be able to do burnouts. And I'm sure these ones could get an update that would allow them to do that. And it's not like a burnout is a make or break thing, but if you're gonna sell it as a muscle car, let me roast those goddamn tires out back. It'll be expensive because they're 325s, but it'll be worth it. That's why you buy these things. I hope people do buy these things because the styling looks great. And to offer it alongside the gas one, so the people who will complain about the EV one, hopefully they'll shut up, because the one they want will be the gas one. They'll make both. Just, if people want an EV one, fine, fun. If people want a gas one, fine, fun. There's my rant of the day, I guess. I'm rambling now. Tell me what you think about it. I gotta do the YouTube thing. Like and subscribe, blah, blah, blah. Tell me what you think about the car in the comments. There's a broken Challenger right there. Hold on. Maybe that's why you don't let people, I can't get this off. Maybe that's why you don't let people drift these. That one looks like it's been stolen and left there. So whatever, it's a good note to end it on, I guess.